Hi and welcome back to Threads of Time. My name is Zephy. You can find me on Instagram as Zephania and Etsy is Threads of Time Pattern, and I think my Ravelry is Zephy81, but I rarely post there. Let's see. So it has been like 3 months since I last posted, I think. At least 2. I got a job. Now I don't have a job. So now I'm back to knitting all the time. I did finish one piece while I was gone, and that is the batwing style jumper right here. I'll put in my picture I put on Instagram, and I think I took a little video with me on it, with me wearing it. So I did go into that stage, which I think we all have some projects in, where it's like 99% complete. And we just have to do like one more thing and it would be done. So for me it was the button band at the back. Vintage patterns usually call for a crochet edge, and I'm not the best at crochet, so I kind of put it off. First I tried putting a zipper in and that didn't work, so then I had to rip the zipper out. And yeah, go from there. So that's that. I will just grab my notebook. I did make a few modifications. So I knit it on 3mm needles. Usually most vintage patterns call for modern 3.25, but I always have to go down to a 3 to get that 7 or 8 stitches. I use the black yarn is Bendigo Woolen Mills 4-ply, which I have all of it here, which looks like this. And then the colour stripes are some stock yarn that I had in my stash from Miss Click Clack. I think it's the cashmere 4-ply or 5-ply or something like that. I do remember the colour of this one. It's like Persian something. The cuffs I did 3 inches instead of the 5, but I did also I did 3 and then 2 of ribbing, and then the 2 of stockinette, and then what it called for, and then did the increases. And I think this sleeve is a little bit too long for me, but it's fine. I'm hoping when I block it, it doesn't grow. I just did a steam block and I've been wearing it. So, and then the bottom ribbing is 3 inches as well. I think for if other people knit this, I didn't check my row gauge because I didn't think it would matter, but I think with this kind of side to side style knit, it definitely comes into play because it is a bit long through the body, hence why the ribbing is so much smaller than the pictured pattern. What else? I knit the smaller size, so the 34, 35 I think. I did a folded over neckband. The colours aren't in ribbing like the pattern calls for. And yeah, I think that's it. I really liked knitting this one. I kind of definitely recommend it. Oh, one more modification I did is there's supposed to be a few more rows before you do the neck shaping, and I decided that it was getting a bit long and took those out. So yeah, that's that. Like most vintage patterns, it does by inch kind of measurements. Was this one of the rare ones that does rows? I know that the coloured stripes were in rows, and I did not do that properly, but turned out fine in the end anyway. So that's that one. Let's put this notepad down. The other project that I have on the needles, these are two new ones, I think. I don't think I've talked about either of them. The first one is, it looks like a spaghetti. It's the Wonderlla by Tash could make that. I'm using a mohair and whatchamacallit, fingering weight, like the pattern calls for. Yeah, I am almost finished the right side, almost. I just have the neck decreases to go. I think I messed up in that I kept doing different size instructions, so I think it's going to turn out a little bit longer than what the pattern is, just because I did too many rows for my size in one of the spots, and I didn't notice until I was doing the other half of the cardigan. I am knitting this up in Isega mohair, and then this is Drops Nepal, the 4-ply, the alpaca merino one. I decided to pick these because my favourite things knit, which I've shown on this channel a few times, is in kind of like a similar fibre content, using a fully alpaca and a mohair held together, and I really like that fabric, so I think this is turning out pretty much similar, and I'm hoping it doesn't grow too much when I wash it, but we'll have to see. But yeah, it's not really in a great place to show you. Here's the front that I've done. Let's see. So yeah, so it's just a little bit long, but I think it will be fine. I always get annoyed when you're wearing a cropped sweater and it's not quite long enough for the pants or the skirt that you're wearing, so every time you like raise your arms it rides up and you get that cold air on your back, so hopefully that won't happen with that. And then the other project I'm knitting is another vintage knit, which I decided to cast on because the job that I had required like black as part of the uniform policy, and I don't really have a lot of black clothing that would have been suitable, so I decided to start knitting I think it's Australian newspaper. What's it called? It's a knit from there, so here is the front, and it's the style with the sleeves attached, and it's going to have a collar, which is why these are on hold, and it's a lace rib. So This I'm using the Bendigo Woolen Mills 4-ply again, just because at this point I know how it behaves. And I have actually washed this one to get an idea of how much the lace needed to be opened up. So that's that. I think the neck might be a little bit low for me, but I figured I could just sew up the bottom. So there's that. I'll put in a picture of what it looks like. And then here is the back. So this is again on 3-ply, 3mm needles, and I have made mistakes in the lace, but you can't really tell. It's quite simple and it's a bit easy to fix once you've got the hang of it. But yeah, that's that. But yeah, projects that I still have on the needles but haven't worked on, I'm not going to bother showing because they're just languishing at this point. I did buy some yarn. Wait, shall I just grab? So Louie and Lola did a collaboration with Lexington Woolies, which is a Cormo yarn, and I've always really wanted to try it because a lot of other people talk about Cormo yarns, like American Cormo, and I've always been really interested in sheep breeds from Australia. So I get the Tandy yarn, which is is it Polworth? No, I forget the name of the sheep, but that's an Australian breed. Like, it was developed in Australia to do Australian conditions and things, and so is a Cormo. Yeah, so I got these two colours. It was limited, so I didn't get all the colours I wanted, and she had 8-ply and 4-ply, but I just got the 4-ply. And yeah, I think it will be good. The colours are quite solid, so I don't think there'll be much variegation, so I think I'll be able to use them in more plain knits. And yeah, that's all the knitting, all the acquisitions. I did post some more patterns on my Etsy store. So I did a Villa wool, which is an Australian print. So a lot of the patterns I've put up on my Etsy store so far, I think there's a couple of paint ones, but they're all Australian produced. So Villa wool was in Sydney, 17 Grosvenor Street, Sydney. And then Sunglow, which a lot of people know, is a 40s print from, it's from a particular mill. Alexandria Spinning. And then Sunglow changed their name in the 50s to like Twin Proofray slash Hughes. Anyway, so I put this one up, and I have a few of these. Yeah, so if you want to have a look, they're on my Etsy, which I'll link down below. But yeah, I really love this Roses one by Sunglow. It's in Taja, I believe, from memory. But I can't, I'd have to do a swatch, but yeah, definitely really like this one. And then these ones are all, in this one, it's all kind of summer design. So there's a tank top. And then there's this tank top at the back. Yeah. So that's pretty much it for knitting. I hope you check out my Etsy. I have a few up there now, and I try to only publish ones that I've never seen produced in a PDF before, so I'm not doubling up on what is out there already. But yeah, what else? I guess I can talk about sewing. I have done a bit, and I failed a few times. So I started this black dress. If I say job, I don't have anymore. That was a failure. So I did a few adjustments and they didn't work out. So that was annoying. I recently did that's not it, it's behind me. Yeah. I did a mock-up for this pattern. Just the top. Here it is. I'm glad I did, because this seam line here in the front that goes underneath the arm, very fiddly. I definitely will have to baste it rather than just use pins, because you have to ease the curve and it's very fiddly. And I also did a mock-up for an 1870s bodice, which is, I only did it pinned because I knew there would definitely be changes that need to be made. But yeah, I'm hoping to make this for a king's coronation dinner that's like run by the Victorian Society group. So I think once I have the skirt and the petticoat done up, I'll book tickets for that. And then there's also this jacket, which if you've been with me for a while, it has been languishing. I finally got buttonhole thread and mapped out the buttonholes. I haven't done them yet, but I need to sit down and do them. There's a whole heap of hand stitching that needs to be done, like putting in the lining and all that business. So hopefully I do that. I'm kind of not sure what to do about the shoulder pads. If anyone's knit a 30s coat, I'll put a picture of what the finished pattern looks like. I don't think I have it handy, but I've like just tried on the sleeve and I just don't like how it sits with the shoulder pad, but then I also don't like how it sits without the shoulder pad. I've bought some organza, which I might make a pad out of that, like a little ruffle. I've seen that in dresses or suggested shoulder pad styles from sewing books of the era. So that's coming in the mail. I figured I have plenty of time because there's a lot of hand sewing that I have to do. I'm gonna have to do 8 buttonholes. hopefully by the time I get to the top I'm good at them. And yeah, I think that's it for sewing. I haven't really been doing much because I don't go anywhere. Which is fine. I live in the middle of nowhere. Well, it's not really the middle of nowhere, but there's not really that much to do around here, so yeah. If you have any questions about anything that I've shown, please leave a comment. And you know, if you've gotten this far, subscribe, as we all say on YouTube. And then yeah, tell me what you've been making and if you've had any fails recently. I think we all have things that we are disappointed in that we probably don't share, but it's all part of the learning experience. I think that's it. Thanks for watching. See you next time, hopefully not in like 3 months.